Cool. Who else? Where else do I want to set this up? Can't I go live on another platform? Oh, yes, we can. Can we? Profile? Can we tweet? Can we go live? Media? Nope. If hold. Nope. All right. Once we get a few people in here, we are going to put you next to this one so I can keep track. All right. I think I got it set up the best I can. So, well, even though there's nobody in here watching, I'm still going to start because I'm running this off of my laptop battery. I am disabled. I have been disabled since I was in my early 20s, and despite good therapy, I'm probably going to remain disabled for the rest of my life. I appear normal. I am not in a wheelchair. I don't hobble all the time, so it's apparent that I am physically disabled. But there's more than different types of disabilities. You have PTSD, you have bipolars, you have severe depressions, and there's a range of different disabilities that people get on disability for. Okay, not just because you're paralyzed or you are unable to move or something like that. Okay, there's a lot of good reasons why people are on disability. Now, for those who've been working, you usually end up on a disability called SSDI. Now, SSDI is based off how many months you've worked and how many credits you put in. So what you put in, you're going to get some amount back. Most people average about $1,200. Then there's SSI. This is the last of the breadcrumbs that we can get. And if you're lucky, you will get the full amount. And I get $840, which is the highest amount you can get. So I get about 10 grand a year right now. The up to my COLA this year. So last year I was getting less than $10,000 a year. So here's some more facts. Okay. When you're disabled, you're more likely to be abused. You are more likely to be taken advantage of. You are more likely to become homeless. And then when you become homeless, you gotta lose your SSI because you have to have an address. Otherwise, you lose everything, medical and all. That's why a lot of the homeless people are people who have disabilities, because SSI and SSDI does not pay enough per month for a lot of people to live. Like I live here in Iowa. It's not the most cheapest place, but it's also not the most expensive. There are towns around where you can find cheaper rent, but even then, when you have to buy your necessities, your toilet paper, shampoo, soaps, dish soaps, laundry soaps, if you don't buy your own equipment, then if you can afford to buy your own equipment, you got to go and either do it by hand or you got to go take it to the laundromat, which also costs a lot of money. You got food and you got to buy clothes every once in a while. And, you can do secondhand, which is fine, but that still costs money. You have to have a car or you have to pay transportation. Even if you get those things for free, sometimes you still have to pay co-pays for those things, or you have to pay so much, and then they will kick in these spin downs, and it's the red tape and the hoops that they put disabled people through is inhumane and unethical. You're also more likely as a disabled person to be stuck in situations where normally you would move out of. I'd be one of those people. I have been stuck in a lot of situations because I just did not get enough basic income in. I can't leave. I have to wait until either I find somebody else to live with, or I go homeless, or I just stick to where I'm at and deal with it. Well, thanks to Kung Fu and things like that, sometimes your best option is just to deal with it. So over the years, I've done that. It's not fun. It creates a lot of tension. It creates a lot of wear and tear, not only on the person who's disabled, but the people who are helping them. Kindness only goes so far. People only have so much give meter on their meter before they're sick of it. Why aren't you getting better? I've been helping you out. Why aren't you better? Why are you stuck on the couch curled up into a ball? That's the one I heard this weekend. And when I'm curled up in the ball, that means my fibro has kicked in so bad I can't move. And I'm hurting, okay? Making fun of the disability, that saying that my MPD's manifestations, but then one minute you're like, oh, thank God you're out, and then the next minute it's just manifestations. That sounds, you don't do that to people, okay? You just don't. That's cruel, it's mean, and it's a form of abuse. It's bullying, and it shouldn't be done. You just don't do that to people who are disabled. And when you get stuck in those situations because you don't have fundamental, it's like, I know the answer to my issues. I need to live by myself. I'm more secure. I feel happier. I feel safer when I'm in solitude. I feel safer. It doesn't matter if I'm by people who I'm absolutely in love with. Like, take me, the one woman who might call me Yummy. This woman I know would never hurt me. But because of the severe traumas over the last 4 decades, my brain and bodies don't believe it. There's nothing all the therapies I've been doing to help me get to the point where I can do the things I can do right now still does not trust the world, because the outside world has been so cruel. So I will not feel safe even if I'm living with somebody who I know would not harm me ever. I just can't feel safe. I'm always on edge. But when I'm by myself in solitude, my anxiety's down. I feel safer. As part of the agoraphobias that I have, and the severe anxiety and the general anxiety and the social anxiety disorders that I have from all the PTSDs, and things like that. So it's exhausting. So when I sit there and I watch the people who I knew are also on disability struggle to make ends meet, taking side jobs just to make sure they get enough food for the month because they can't get enough on their disability, even if they can afford the place to rent, you're still left without your necessities, and you have to rely on someone. Hey, here's $20, go get some, TP, go wipe your butt, dude. This is what you constantly have to deal with, is trying to do as little as possible just so you can have the very basic necessities. It's a freaking prison. It's enough of a prison to be disabled within your own body, but to be out in the world and being stuck the way we are, that's also a prison. That couch I lived on for years because I didn't understand what was causing the fibro to be. And so, like, my pain levels every day were 7 and 8. And I couldn't move. Telling my child constantly, no, I'm sorry, we can't go play today. I hurt too much to even get off this couch. His tears raining down my face. Like, I feel so sorry for him. Like, he deserved to have a fairly decent childhood, to go play out in parks. And, we had parks surrounding us, but I didn't have the body ability to walk with him safely because I would just collapse from the pain. I hated telling him no. That really burns, because he deserved to go out and play. So I would sit by my window when he would go outside so I can watch him through the window and he get to play out in the yard. And that would be the best that I could do. I did my very best. That's why my part of the reason why I wanted my son to have a better future. Because my disability was getting in the way of his disability, and his disability wasn't giving me enough time to work on my disability. So we were both just not helping each other out. It happens. It really happens a lot. But I didn't give up. I did the best. It sucked. But when I gave him up so he can get the help he needed, I lost over 60% of our income, and I became a couch surfer since 2012, 2013. Somewhere around there. And life it's been interesting. I'm very, I guess you call me a nomadic. You can put fancy, pretty little words to it, but the thing of it is, technically, I was homeless for years. And it hasn't always been good. There's days I fantasize just digging a hole and creating an inside, but if I do that, then I would lose my car. And I need my car to get to therapies and my doctor's appointments and go get groceries, especially with my fibro. Especially during the winter months, I would not even be able to walk to the store and carry food back because the pain would be too much. So I would not have anything to eat, which, if you haven't noticed, I'm pretty skinny. I can't really afford to not eat. So here's the reality. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of watching people who have to wait 3 to 4 years to get a wheelchair. I'm sick and tired of people having to choose food, housing, or medications. I'm sick of watching people who would normalize what if they had just enough more help, had enough basic income, they wouldn't be on the streets. They would actually be able to have someone come in, to help them out, and so they can maintain some independency. Being dependent, like, I don't have family to depend on. I don't. My schizophrenic mother, who would give me the world if she could, is in the same boat as me. She's on SSI. She's figured out a system that works for her, and somehow she makes it, but she's exhausting herself. She's an older woman. She's trying to do these little side jobs to help make ends meet, and it's not working, people. It's not working. We have billions that we spend on blowing up people around the world, but we don't have enough money to fix our infrastructure or help the disabled be able to be okay. Like, that's infuriating. Let's spend $1 billion on these airplanes and worry about blowing each other up, but we can't sit there and help our own people. Like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And let me tell you, our weakest link is already shattered. Like, we as a country are not strong, because if you can't sit there and take care of your own, the disabled, the homeless, our education, if we are not doing this correctly and proficiently, we're not doing good as a society. And I'm proof of that. I can't live by myself. I can't take care of myself. It's like, and the fact that I'm very much aware of my reality doesn't make it any easier. It's very frustrating. It's degrading. It's dismissive. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing enough to be looking normal, and you're smart enough to appear normal, and but you can't learn. And coming from a girl who's an old farm girl, where I was taught, you work through it, and get the fuck over yourself and get to work. Okay? I can't be more blunt than that. That's my upbringing from when I was adopted. I tried that over and over again, and the world's come tumbling down. It doesn't work for me. We smashing your head against the wall over and over. We call that insanity. Well, that's pretty much what I was trying to do to appear normal, and it didn't work. It just did not work for me. And it took about 6 years ago before I finally learned to accept it. But it doesn't make it any more easier. It does not make it any more easier. In fact, it makes it even harder. So with this being said, I'm fed up. So I'm searching up for a lawyer. I want to sue the government. I want to make this a point. So if you know a lawyer, if you are a lawyer, contact me, please. Because it's unethical, it's inhumane to how the disabled are being treated and forced to walk through these insanity loops that get us still nowhere. We still don't get any further if we walk these loops. So, like, say if I got a job, they will take a certain amount of my money away for every dollar that I make, and up to like a certain amount, and then after that I guess I get it. But then if I make too much, they take away the whole check, and then you got to fight through loops if the next month you don't make anything at all. So you're constantly behind trying to catch up with this interaction of make money, don't make money thing. That's just thinking about that gives me anxiety. Like, no, absolutely not. This is unacceptable how we treat people who are disabled. And I'm looking for that lawyer who's willing for me to sue this government, because the foster home systems that I was put in made this mess. My mother, when they took, like, don't get me wrong, they were in the right to take me away from my mom, but they put me into situations that were far worse than what my mother had me in. Okay? Like, far worse. And that's not okay, because it messed me up. It has messed up my relationships. It has messed up my ability to make good judgments for the longest of times. I was so dumb and naive. Just did not know better, because of my adoption home pretty much just kept me home constantly. And it's just like I felt like I lived under a rock by the time I was 24 and realized, wow, what is wrong with people? This isn't normal. Like, holy, just I'm angry. I'm very angry that they stuck me with people that I needed to depend on to do the right thing for me, but instead made it worse through abuse and sexual abuse and torments and torture. And like, some of my stories I have told people who've gone to Vietnam and who've survived some serious torturous crap, and I'm like, this is what happened to me. And they turn green, and they were like, I'm so sorry. You're just like one of us. I'm so sorry. And it sucks, man. It sucks to live like this. Like, it never stops. The flashbacks are constant. Yesterday, one of my students wanted to give me a hug, and I literally jumped 3 feet away from her. And she's like, I'm so sorry, because she knows about the history. She's just like, I'm sorry. Just air hugs. It's like, okay, thanks. Give me a moment. Let me calm down. I wasn't ready to be touched. And I jumped out of her reach, because my hypervigilance is constantly, and it's been ramped up because of the past week. So I'm super sensitive today, And this is my reality. I'm so proud of myself, though. I've accomplished a lot. Don't get me wrong. Despite all this crap, I have managed and created a Kung Fu club to where I can go be social and practice my social skills and practice my Kung Fu skills, which is good for my fibro, which is good for my brain, and I get to bring my dog, and I really enjoy it. I feel really safe and comfortable at a Kung Fu class, especially either at Sifu's or my own. It's just, which is good for me. That's good therapy. So that is one of my highlights. The artwork I'm trying to do, get this channel go, because I would like to get the hell off of freaking SSI. That's why I'm trying so hard. It's why I'm trying to get this channel going so hard. It's why I'm trying to get my social medias going so far. I'm literally just want to yank out my hair, because I'm so sick of being trapped on this. But when I go try to get an actual job, either the fibro kicks in and I only last 15-20 minutes, or I go into a panic attack, or I actually do a good job for 3 days. I'll have a nice small streak, and then I shut down. there'd be a baby crying and poof, I'm gone. And hello, and I can't even respond. Even with Lucas, there's times I'm done. I'm done for the whole entire. No person who's a boss is going to want to hire someone like me to sit there and have to babysit my disability to ensure that I'm okay so I can go complete my higher task. As a boss, I don't care how, I would have to have a continuous huge team of employees to be able to make sure that everything gets done if I'm going to work with people like me. Because who knows how many you're going to have a bad day, holidays, everybody gets triggered on those days. So it would be a huge mess. I don't blame employees not wanting to hire someone like me. I would probably not want to hire a person like me. And I'm known as a good hard worker when I am able to work hard. People love me because I get shit done. But fibro kicks in, or the PTSD kicks in, and then I'm worthless. Absolutely worthless. And I'm sick of it. But I've tried. I kept trying. So, Mr. or Mrs. Lawyer, whoever you are out there, you by chance see this, I'm going to be calling around. I'm going to be checking out local lawyers. But if you see this by chance, you're like, girl, I'm going to give you a call. I'll be messaging you. Please do. Okay? And scammers, just don't bother. Just please don't bother, okay? Because just don't go that low. I really am serious about making this statement that how we as a nation are treating us disabled people is unethical. It's inhumane. Dogs have more rights and abilities to get further in life than us guys. And he is pretty cute and fluffy, so I don't blame you guys. But still, man. Hello, new person. I'm talking about my disability and how I'm looking for a lawyer and how it affects life and what people go through. So I'm going to go do a little bit of repeat. When you are disabled, you are more likely to be abused, become homeless, have your medications abused. Like one person I had dated only dated me because I have fibro. I have obviously pain medications, and he used all my pain medications. So yeah, that was fun. A lot of fun things. Yeah, see, poof, gone. Because people don't want to hear about this. This makes people uncomfortable. People like to think that people who are on disability are doing okay because now they're taken care of. Whisper, go away. But it's not like that. People don't want to hear the ugly truth of how people like me are being treated. They don't. It makes them uncomfortable. Well, trust me, being this is uncomfortable. Okay? It sucks. It's absolutely sucks. So, going back to you, Mr. or Mrs. Lawyer, message me, okay? I'm serious. I want to make a statement. I talked to my therapist about this, and he really does think I have a really good case to prove that I have been abused in these situations, and because of what I've been through has led to me having a much rougher life and things like that. He thinks I have a case. He's like, go find a lawyer, tell them your story, and let them know what happened. I think you have a case. I hear, and even he's looking up options and things for me to go to because I'm done. I am so done. I am a doer by nature. Okay, my spirit within me is a doer. It doesn't matter who's out. I'm still a doer. Don't get me wrong. We have a couple lazy people in there, but that's still beside the point. For the most part, we like getting stuff done, and and I'm ready to get this done. I'm ready to make myself comfortable and happy and be heard because I am fed up to the gills of not being able to survive on my own. I'm fed up. I am so fed up. because I don't deserve the hell that I went through. I didn't. No child. It made you strong. It didn't make me strong. It made me a freaking mess. It made me just miserable within me. Like, I would never rape anybody. I would never beat anybody. I would never hurt anybody. I know. You know? Yeah. Yeah. You know, you think so, baby girl. Yeah. I know. I know. I love you too, sweeties. Tilly. My first support animal I had. She's getting older and cranky, and she can't handle the stressors. She feels me upset. Oh, your hair is in my nose, and you're on my boob. Okay, thank you. Kitty. So yeah, if you see this, please get a hold of me. Let me know. You know, yes, I know. Mommy wants to find a lawyer. Yes, she does. Because disabled people deserve good stuff. Yeah, you deserve good stuff, don't you? Yes. Even disabled people deserve animals and long to take good care of them. Yeah. And they deserve the ability to have their own place. They deserve not to be mocked for their disability. Right? Yeah. What other good stuff? Oh, yeah. What else, baby? Yeah, they deserve disrespect and they deserve a livable wage that they don't have to depend on their families and friends to survive or little side jumps constantly. Yeah. Did you know on SSI I'm only allowed to make $89 a month and only allowed to save $2,000? On SSDI, you're allowed to make up to about $900, and I'm not sure about the savings, but a lot of people have a larger amount of savings. So, yeah, isn't that wonderful? So I'm only allowed to make about $90 a month extra, or have $2,000 in savings. That's it. Most people can't even survive on 1 month with $2,000. You know, trying to live in the world that we have now, honey. No nails. It's inhumane. It's unethical. You know. In order for me to get my service dog, I use my entire stimulus check, all of it, every penny, to get him. In order just for me to feel safe enough to go to my appointments or go grocery shopping, or to have him help pick up items when my fibro kicks in, you know, like pick up my keys or my phone or whatever, you know. That's what he does for me. He helps me physically and he helps me be able to do with the PTSD on there. If it wasn't for people helping to take care of me, I would not be able to have my dog. I wouldn't even be able to live by myself. So it's frustrating. So whoever's out there, Mr. Lawyer, Mrs. Lawyer, once again, contact me. I've had enough. It's inhumane, and I want to fight for the disabled person so they will hopefully get more money to be able to be independent and get out of abusive situations or get out of a dangerous area because rent is cheaper there, you know. Sometimes you got to have fundage to get where you need to go. You know, you can't make money if you don't have money. Well, if you don't even have money to survive on your most fundamental basics, just staring at a wall, that's torture. That's not right. That's why is so many homeless people. That's why the van community is growing with more disabled people and people who are trying to make it on their own, you know, because rent's too expensive. Utilities are too expensive. Like, if you got to choose between rent and food, you're probably going to choose food because even if you get rent, you're going to starve to death. It's frustrating, and I've had enough. If they can spend billions blowing up little kids, they can spend billions paying the disabled. Besides, they owe like $3 trillion for the Social Security accounts. They owe. We are not adding out of money. They're using our money, and it's infuriating because we could be using that to help people be able to have a life. Besides, yeah, because if it wasn't for the kindness of others, would we have a home, baby girl? No. And having that kindness, it gets constantly having to do it. And then watching your disabled person not be able to constantly keep up to help keep things up, to do their share. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes, especially during winter, all I can do is lie there and cry because I'm in so much pain. And then other times, man, I'm a bull in a china shop. Woo! Get stuff done. But those the time I'm in the gray area. It's hard on families for those who have disability, family members with disability. Like, so I'll take one of my best friends. He's in a wheelchair. He had to spend all of his parents' inheritance. His parents died. He got an inheritance. He had to spend every ounce of that in the last 2 years just so he can get proper medical help. That's not cool, man. You shouldn't have to spend the family inheritance to be able to get your medical help. The people who lived across from him when Steve died, was dying from liver. He's just like, I'm done. I'm going. They had to go spend all of their savings before hospice or any medical help could start. All of it. Like, they had saved up $60,000 or $70,000 in their savings over the years. And they were living in a nice, cute little house. But they had to spend it all. That's not how it should be done. You should not be spending all of your savings. I mean, I see people with cancers who have to sell their house. They have to go in these insane medical debts, using their credit cards, all this, just to get medical help. That's inhumane. That's unethical. You guys realize that, right? Like, you can't expect, that's just no. You should be able to keep the money you have and still get proper treatment. I should be able to still get proper treatment, get a disability check in where I can live independently and my friends aren't having to spend the extra money to support me. Right, woman? Yeah. Yeah, she said. It's enough. Enough is enough. We need to get different priorities going. We really do. And if we're going to be willing to spend billions, well, then you can cough up $1 billion. I'm done. I am done with this. And I've had enough. So, once again, lawyers, you see me, text me, whatever. I've had enough. I've had enough. The line has been drawn. I'm going to, God, Cat, I love you, but hair up my nose is not helping my allergies. Anyways, this is going on for 32 minutes. Listen to me rant and rave, and I'm just done. And blah, 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 blah. I'm flustered now. I'm safe and fine for right now. But people who are involved in my situation aren't happy. Okay? And it's not fair for them to be unhappy. Just because I'm disabled and have to be dependent on others in order to survive. That's not fair to them because they're taxpayers, It's not fair to me because I'm not happy either, And it's not fair to you guys who are also on disability or those who have to support disabled people, or your tax-paying dollars are being spent on stupidity instead of helping your aunt, your uncle, your little nephew or niece, etc., 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 okay? What do you want to do? Continue a war or help, the people that you actually give a crap about, Which is it? And are you fed up with it? Are you fed up watching the homeless gather on the streets because they don't make enough income to either hire someone to help them, or they run out of state aid for helping them, or so they can maintain a home. So now they're pissing and crapping on the sidewalks because, we treat the homeless like crap because we think, well, you screwed up. No, they didn't screw up. Most of the majority of the people who are on there are not drug addicts or alcoholics. They are mentally or physically disabled people. Some of them who fought in wars for you. A lot of them are veterans because they're so messed up from the PTSD that they can't function. There's not homes for that. And if they are, they're very far few in between, and they're already filled. What are we going to do, people? Because this is not cool. How we are treating this planet's not cool. How we're treating each other is not cool. And I've had enough. Don't you? Aren't you had enough? Like, seriously. It's not hard to be nice. It's not hard. It's not expensive to be nice. You know? Just instead of building war machines, we can build homes. Small house communities. We can clean up the planet. Yeah. That's, priorities. Anyways, so here's my long live rant. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah. Anything else you want to add, woman? How about no nails in my knees? I'm fine. Told you. You'll get cuteness if you watch my channel. Pop down for a second. Louis, come up. Here's my boy. He's a good man. Dog. Good boy. Thank you. Okay? If it wasn't for the kindness of others, I wouldn't have that amazing dog helping me out every day. Or her. So, thank you for those who have helped me over the years and are helping me now. I do appreciate it. I really, really do. I'm not ungrateful. I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky, but many are not. And if I'm brave enough to speak up for all these people on their behalf, including my own, fine, I'll do it. I've never been one to not fight for other people. I mean, in the foster homes, I would fight for my foster brothers and sisters from getting hurt and abused. They would lock me in rooms because I would fight, bite, nails, kick, claw. It's like, no, leave them alone. I was a fighter. I did not like it when I still hear the screams from the other side of the rooms and down the halls, and I still hear the screaming of the kids being abused, and me walked away because they know I would fight for them. I didn't care. What are you gonna do? Beat me? Kill me? I don't care at this point. I was like, no, you're not gonna hurt them anymore. Enough is enough. So I might not be able to throw some good old quick jabs, but I will definitely still fight. And if me stating this and talking about this is part of the fight, then I'm doing it, and I'm done. I'm just so done with it all because people deserve better. I deserve better. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for those who support me in my channels and support me in all the things that I do. And I do appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you to my therapist over the years that helped me get to the point that I'm at now. Really, seriously, thank you. Thank you to the coaches and my Sifu for helping me get to a better health like I am now. Just so I can do what I do. It's not much, but it's something. So thank you. And thank you for the people who believe in me, and my students who believe in me, and Sifu who believes in me. Sifu thinks I'm a badass. I always believe him. But every once in a while, I'm like, I am a badass. Thanks. But we can do better. And it's time. So if you're a lawyer and you want to help out with this, please get a hold of me. Because I've had enough. And if I could win my case, what I would use that money for would be help others. One, create a small, tiny home for me where I can live by myself in solitude and feel secure, and to use the rest of the money to help the foster kids, to help abuse services for both men and women, things like that. Or go buy someone a wheelchair instead of having them be forced to use broken equipment for 2 years. Oh, it's so infuriating. I would use the money for that. Just walk around and say, hey, what do you need? Little small thing that would help them get around, or a small business. It just needs an extra $300 to make it happen. $300. Like, well, ain't much. Well, for me, that's a good chunk of my monthly income. It's like a third. That's a huge amount. So yeah, it's this. Like, oh, you just need $300 to get caught up. Yeah, things like that. Sometimes that's all you need. That's what I would use if I won my lawsuit. That's what I would do. Yeah. Help others. Because sometimes you gotta give back for what you've been given. And it's part of the reason I do Kung Fu, is to give back. So much I'm volunteering and all that. But anyways, I'm gonna cut this here, like I kept saying. And y'all keep the good fight, okay? Don't let the bullies push you down. Don't do it. Be kind. Just be kind. If we can start there, it's gonna be a much better world. So anyways, stay awesome. Peace.